Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm about ready to open up a couple of rod tubes I've gotten from Kistler rods. One has been sitting in my garage for several weeks and one just came in the last week. I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to open them. But if you want to follow along, here we go. This first one is the one that I've had for a while. The rods come in this nice long tube, but in order to open it, you can see there's some tape here on the end. And so what we're going to do is just slowly cut away the tape from around the cap. Maybe I can pull it off now. Not quite. Tough stuff. There we go. There's some staples that hold the cap in place. So I'm just gonna slow pry it up and then grab a pair of pliers, pull the staple out, throw it in my garbage right there, roll it over and get the other staple. This one still has a little bit of tape around it. Pry it open, get it up and started a little bit, grab the pliers, pull the staple out, and then let's see if we can pry the cap off. I think I got all the staples. There's usually just two. Let's get the cap started. Sorry if it's taking a bit. Maybe I can grab it here now with the pliers. A little more. There we go. Set that off to the side. I'll slide the tube a little bit. And let's see what we got. Slide the rods over, bring them back onto my table, and then I'm going to set the rod tube down on the floor out of the way for now. Get rid of the bubble wrap and let's see, get the tape off. It's always exciting when you have some new toys to open. You know, if you're an angler, it's like having Christmas year round because you always need something and you're always buying stuff. These are well wrapped. I like how they keep it so that you can get to it easy but still protect the rods all the way through the shipping in the tube. I have three rods here. These are some rods that to me are a little hard to find, and so when they had three that were available several weeks ago, I jumped on it and got them because I keep looking for these particular models. Let's see, not quite ready to pull off. One more piece of tape there, huh? Shouldn't be this hard, should it? But at least they're nice and protected. Get that tip end off. And then I can remove this bubble wrap. Just set it off to the side. Here's my packing slip. I have to hide that before my wife comes back into the garage. So what do we have here? I have this model here is the 5 heavy moderate action 7-foot 3-inch. See if you can see that. Really nice rod. I have several of these now. I think this is my 4th or 5th one. I have a couple from a few years ago that were, I think they had a fast tip, but I like the moderate tip better in a heavy rod, especially if I'm using it for pitching or something like that. Take the paper off, rod sleeves off. This one is the 5 heavy moderate 7-foot 6-inch. Normally, again, another type of pitching rod, but believe it or not, this is my favorite rod for pitching Senkos around heavy cover. I use 25-pound fluorocarbon line and 6-inch Senkos, and I'll pitch it into places where a lot of people will throw a jig. And that slow fall from that 6-inch Senko helps me catch fish going behind people that are pitching jigs. Finally, in this one, with a cover on it, this is a 3 light, medium, heavy with a fast taper. So 7-foot 3-inch. I use this one for skipping light stuff around docks and things like that. So I'll probably put a Daiwa Tatula SV, or maybe might even try my Steez SV on this one. Again, I have, this makes my 3rd or 4th one of this particular model in the 7-foot 3-inch. I also have 4 in the 7-foot 6-inch in this particular model. The longer ones I use for casting mostly lightweight or weightless stuff like Senkos out in open water where I need to make a long cast. And then this one here for immediate casting. So anyway, that's my collection of rods that came in several weeks ago. Again, some of my favorite rods and some of my favorite actions. I really like these. I'm going to set these off to the side, and then we're going to open the rods that I just got this last week. It's hard to believe that I've had this one here for several weeks and haven't had a chance to open it, but now I do. Here's my little device. I don't know if you can see it over here. Not quite. I got this hanging where that I use for cleaning parts and reels and things like that. So that's hanging over there. And it's just got a nice little rack. So these rods will actually fit right in there for now and they won't tip over. So let's look at the second tube. Let's see, this one open from this end. So we'll bring it around, set it down, and again we'll go through the same process, getting the tape off and getting the staples out. Kistler has a sale that ends tomorrow, and if you buy enough rods, you can get up to 50% off. So that's what I did with this order. I was able to get these rods at 50% off. And I have a different variety of rods here. Some of these are models I've never had before, and I figured at that price point it's something I could take advantage of. One of the rods I have in here is going to be for my finesse fishing, and then the others are more of a standard style fishing. Again, let's cut the tape. slice around the staples so I can get to the staple. There's a staple there. No, that's just dirt. There's the other staple. Okay, grab a screwdriver and get the staple started loose. Pull it off with my little pliers. Toss that. And let's see if we can get this other staple out. Again, it's the same process, just getting the caps off. Fun stuff, isn't it? Cap is off, and let's take the rods up. So as I said, you have to buy a certain dollar volume amount in order to get the 50% discount. And being that I like to use a lot of these rods, I took advantage of that to get the discount price. Okay, I'm also going to set this tube down on the floor, out of the way for now. And we will begin taking off the bubble wrap. Let's start with a packing slip. Set it all over here to the side. Oh, look, some lip balm from Kistler. Cool. Now, I have a couple of these, but I don't really use them as lip balm. When I'm throwing a topwater lure with braided line, I'll take some of this and I'll run it a foot or two up the braided line. It makes the braided line a little stiffer so that the braided line doesn't coil around and get wrapped up in your hooks and things like that. So I do keep one for lip balm, but the others I use on my topwater lures. It's a little trick that you should try. This one, I forgot how many rods are in this package. There's more rods, so that of course they're packed nice and tight. I've been using this brand of rods, Kistlers, for, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. I don't remember. I got my first one, and started using it. It was the first rod that I ever bought that had a split grip handle, and I was really impressed with the action of the rod. I was impressed with how light the rod felt. I believe it was I think I remember it as a magnesium, one of the original magnesium rods, possibly. I've had so many different Kistler rods over the years, I don't remember which one was my first one. But ever since then, I've acquired quite a few. I've been doing an inventory and I haven't quite completed yet, but I would say it's probably a safe bet that between me and my two sons, we have more than 100 Kistler rods. We have pretty much every size and action that's available, and wish we could fish more than we do, but we slide this one up so it doesn't fall and break a tip. I'm hoping I'm getting a little closer to retirement, so I'm hoping to be fishing on a more regular basis here real soon. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods. That's what I thought should be in there. There's 5 rods. So before we go through them, let's undo these two. As I said, I know one of these is an action rod that I haven't had before. So get the bubble wrap off and we'll go through them. I'm going to spin them around so they're all facing the same way. All right, so let's start with this one. Get the plastic off. I'll be putting rod covers on all of these as soon as I get reels on them. I'll be doing that in the next couple days. Okay, this one is KLX 7 foot 6 inch 5 power. I got this one to use as a frog rod. I had one similar to this before, and like a fool I sold it, and now I missed it because it was the perfect frog rod for me. So that's what this one's going to be, new frog rod. This one it feels very heavy, not weight wise, but I can tell by the action. This is the KLX 7 foot 10 inch extra heavy. It's rated for 3 to 9 ounce. So this is another swim bait rod. I have one just like this, but sometimes you have more than one swim bait tied on, and so you don't want to keep switching back and forth. So I got a second rod so I could have 2 swim baits, so I can vary the color a little bit without having to retie each time. So that, and it works great as a swim bait rod. I also use it for some of the bigger topwater lures that I've had. When you're throwing a 8 inch or a 10 inch topwater lure that weighs 7 or 8 ounces, you need a lot of backbone. This rod is keeping in with the other series of rods that I use a lot. This one is a 3 power, 7 foot 3 inch, light, medium, heavy, just like the other one that was in the other package. It's rated for 3/16 to 3/4 ounce. Again, one of my favorite rods. Between the 7 foot 3 and the 7 foot 6 and the 3 power, it's probably the rods I use more than anything else, other than the 5 power. A lot of guys like to use a 4 power rod, which is a medium heavy, but my feeling is if you're using a medium heavy rod, it's too heavy of an action for something light, and it's not light enough for heavy, like pitching bigger jigs and things like that. So I think I have one 4 power rod, and I don't use it. I have 3 powers and 5 powers, and that's the way I usually get my rods. This one here is a 1 power, 4 to 10 pound, 16th to 3/8 ounce. I got this one. I want to try it as a, not quite a BFS, bait finesse system, but anyway, something for really light 16th ounce, maybe 1/8 ounce, up to 1/8 ounce lures and things like that. I'm going to pair it with my, let's see, yeah, I think let's see if it's right here. Nope, that's not it. Sorry, I had to step out of the picture there, grab this. This is my Steez Air TWS 500 Extra XX Heavy, or XXH. This is a tiny little reel for throwing really light stuff. So that's what this 1 power rod is going to be for. I'm going to use it for throwing really tiny 1/16 ounce jigs. Like now around here in Central Texas, a lot of guys throw slider heads, and they're using 16th ounce, maybe up to 1/8 ounce slider heads. So I don't like to fish with spinning rods very much. So I got that 1 power to throw the 16th ounce slider head with just little tiny 4 inch, maybe 6 inch worms. So I'm going to try it, test it. I'll let you know how it does. I have a 2 power rod in a similar action, but It's and it does a good job. I use that one mostly for throwing weightless flukes, but I wanted something just a little bit lighter for lighter line. I'll probably use this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to put 8-pound, or more than likely I'm probably going to put 6-pound fluorocarbon line on it. And finally have a 3-power 6'9". This is the first time I've gotten one in this size. I usually get the 7 or the 7'3". I thought I'd get the 6'9". It's rated for 3/16 to 3/4. I'm going to try this one for, and I haven't really decided until I really get out and test it, but I'm going to use it either for small jerk baits or pitching around docks if there's not a lot of heavy cover. But I'm anxious to try it. I haven't used the one this short before for that application. My guess is I'm probably going to end up using it most likely for jerk baits. So there you go. There's my selection. I have 5 rods here, and as we saw, these 3 here. So there's a total of 8 new rods. I don't know if you can see them. They're really beautiful rods, and I really like how they feel. I have a lot of confidence when I'm using these rods. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed just watching for a minute, and if you ever have any questions, go ahead and send me a message and I'll be glad to help you. And if you're looking for a Kistler rod, go to their website right now through tomorrow, and if you buy rods, you can get them anywhere from 20 to 50% off depending upon how many you buy. So thanks for watching. Bye.